Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero, and welcome to Deep Night Detective, Chapter 1. A mystery horror metroidvania where you play a spooky detective solving spooky mysteries. Father Martin Hillgrove and I still get letters, usually around the same time of year. They stopped being intelligible or coherent at some point in the late aughts. Before they became a fixed stew of expletives and promises, they were angry confessions, funny enough. February 1997. Father Hillgrove walked into my office, sweating through his clerical collar, putting a cassette tape on my desk and not saying a word for 5 whole minutes. I shouldn't be doing this. The tape was a recording of the Hank Boyd in a confessional. This is the last time, Father. The very last time. Boyd continued in shaky mutters. Now stop. I'm done with it. I've just got to do this one last girl. Not a member of Hillgrove's congregation, but Martin was understandably concerned for her nonetheless. He should have gone directly to the cops. I could only get to the right people and through the right channels so quickly. I wasn't able to keep Hillgrove a secret, and we didn't make it in time to save her. Nobody came out of that one happy. I refused the money. Hillgrove was excommunicated. And Boyd regrets, apparently very loudly, ever having trusted anyone in his whole life. A rare, quiet day. Something about the summer heat makes people suspicious, I guess, because spooky private investigations pulls in great business this time of year. A cheating husband job came up totally dry, and the wife is suspicious enough to pay for another week's investigation. It would take a pretty big idiot to turn down an easy job, and even bigger idiot to waste his time on it. So I sent Calloway to tail the guy. It's pretty far below his pay grade too, but oh well. I sent him not because I don't have the time, but exactly because I do. He needs something to do, and I need to enjoy a summer's day for once. Besides, I'm sure it's only a matter of time before the phone starts ringing again. That or the other thing happens. I'm hoping it's the phone this time. The ever-looming idea that such a rude interruption could be right around the corner makes me want to get as much sunlight as I possibly can. I'm going for a walk. Interesting. We have like a ghostly punch. My minibar. I hardly touch it. Keep my flask in my desk. This is for show. For high-class clientele, even though they never actually show up at my office. I keep records of all my cases. I've been a detective a little longer than most. These aren't even all my files. I have some in storage. My desk. A bank lamp and an admittedly old-fashioned telephone. No computer. Why bother? I do most of my work from my phone. Susie's a computer person around here. Can't select that one? Yeah, weird. Oh well. Hey Susie, how's tricks? Slow day, for once. No calls. How are you today, Mr. Spooky? Feeling pretty spooky, how you doing? You know what? I'm kind of relishing a quiet day. Is that so? Yes, in fact it is. I think I'm going to go out for a walk. Would you like me to bring you back some lunch? I'm a little strapped right now. I shouldn't be spending the money. It's my treat. Oh, pick up a euro and a small Coke then. Will do. Be back in just a bit. Thanks, Mr. Spooky. Case. Dentist's office. Walls are pretty good at keeping out the drill sounds. The screaming, not so much. A therapist's office? Or some guy with a PhD, I don't know. Advanced Services Technical Solutions. I think it's a call center. Bathroom. Some company that works with computers. Ask Susie about them, she doesn't know them. I go to her for computer stuff. I don't understand it at all. Uh-oh. No, not again. Damn it. Oh, being taken to the Shadow Realm. Well, this is a pisser. I'm being summoned against my will. Let's at least hope it's a paying client this time. So where am I, in the underworld? Interesting. You can become a ghost. Boo! Hey. Hey! Well, I assume you were just summoned as usual. If you're going back, I am. Hang up your coat on the astral coat rack. You can retrieve them on the other side. As well, thanks. Yes, you were able to pass through it because of that. It's quiet. There seems to be some kind of dusty shack. Like an old backyard shed, but bigger, without gardening supplies. Ah, Mr. Spooky, is it? A raspy voice calls up from behind me. A butler, it appears. He must be the one who summoned me. I take one last contemplative, silent look around to make sure I'm not in any danger before I give the guy the time of day. The same. How can I help you? My name is Edward Mannheim. I am a servant of Winterfield Manor and of the owners. June and July Abernathy. I'm afraid we're in need of private assistance. He says in a practice, well-enunciated growl. His voice is charred and gravelly, but well-spoken, easy to understand, like an expensive organ with rusty pipes. Do you have a phone? I need to call my secretary. But of course, the phone is in the main house. We can discuss the details of your potential employment inside. I like that. Potential employment. It means I'm allowed to decline and that they plan to pay me. Good. It also means he's not one of these kids who thinks that the high price of me summoning in the old book refers to their soul or something. Like they can pay me in magic money that comes from inside you. I'm already here. Might as well hear them out. Lead the way, Mannheim. Right this way, sir. I'm wondering when this is gonna come in. Now, they label it a metroidvania, but I'm not sure if that's a literal metroidvania, or if that's gonna come in, like, later kind of thing. Wait 1 second, Edward. Before we go inside, I stop him from walking any further. He tells you that Mannheim is fine, in lieu of Edward. What's the general gist of what's going on here? I want it from you first, before I hear from anyone else. Mannheim's face doesn't change. The butlers are never that expressive. We believe, Mr. Spooky, that the house may be haunted. Lots of houses are haunted, Mannheim. Most of them, in fact. Only house I know that's not haunted is mine, which is arguable seeing as I live there. The police have traced several disappearances to Winterfield Manor. We would very much appreciate if you would investigate the manor before the police made a mess of things. July Abernathy believes the cause to be spectral in nature. That's his first guess, huh? Feel like that'd be pretty convenient explanation, right? Why is that what he jumps to? The Abernathy family has always had an interest in the supernatural. I believe you may have assisted the late Augustine Abernathy in 1884. I may have. Mr. Abernathy is curious to see if you can now confirm his suspicions regarding the strange nature of the household. I respond, perhaps someone's short in my approach. Quick question. What if he's wrong? What if it's not ghosts making people disappear? I cannot begin to speak on his behalf on the subject, Mr. Spooky. If he deigns to return soon, you may speak to him about then. This seems to be Mannheim's last word on the situation before he leaves, and turns back towards the house. Are there ghosts here? Yes, obviously. I can feel them from out here. But are these the same ghosts the answers to the Anthony's problem? Let's hope so, for their sake. So where are we going? In here? Or are we just going over here? Hoppity hop hop. Here we go! Deep Night Detective. Book 1. Sympathy for the Devil. Aw, sweet. Are you sure you can't tell me anything else regarding the case? I've given you all the relevant information I have, Mr. Spooky. How about some irrelevant information? With respect, Mr. Spooky, you are a member of the private sector. I should hope you'd not insist I infringe upon my employee's privacy. Fine. So what you're giving me is essentially, the police told you people have disappeared here. That's not allowed to go on. You are also free to investigate the home, within reasonable limitations. If you believe that's not enough to justify your time, I'll make do. Thanks anyway, Mannheim. I pray that you not take it too personally. No sweat. We're sympactical. I'll take a look around. Maybe this is where the Metroidvania part comes in? Because it's got like the layout of like a platformer. And look, we can punch and jump. Pardon me. I say to the woman blocking the entrance to the southwest wing. Hello there, detective. Valerie Bordeaux. I'm afraid now might not be the best moment. Don't mind me saying, could you come back another time? Why is that? Is it being fumigated or something? Yes, it's being no, it's not being fumigated, but you can't go in right now. June is unwell right now. The direct approach really works on a wilting violin like this one, unless you're willing to scare them off or upset the fragile ecosystem of a suspicious house. Valerie Bordeaux, you say. May I ask you as to what your relationship to the owner is? I'm a friend of June's, Abernathy. We've been close for some time now. My apologies, Valerie. I didn't realize that the Abernathys had company this evening. I'll try to be discreet. No, it's no problem at all, detective. May I ask that you come by to continue investigation later? I will return later then. That's the reaction I'm wondering about. She's ashamed of her relationship to June Abernathy, but is open about her closeness with her. This means she's likely a live-in house guest. Fascinating. Thank you for your time again, Miss Bordeaux. Mannheim didn't say anything about a sick wife. So can't go there. Dog. Hey, Pooch. Bark. Oh, how you doing, buddy? Alright, got a case note about a dog. Great. We have help too, see it? So like, what's gonna come after us? This door doesn't go anywhere. Go bother the developer about it. I have a case to get back to. Developer, I'm bothering you about it right now. Developer! Huh. The thing is to get away from this crowd. I better stick around a moment. See what everyone can tell me. This door doesn't go anywhere. I approach a butler who seems to be guarding a wing of the manor. His eyes are narrowed and intense. I find myself immediately put off. Detective Spooky. I start off in a harsh and yielding tone. I recognize his stare. I've been around the block a few times, and I'm not letting him make a single assumption about my work here. I've been hired by your employer to investigate the manor. Salazaar. He says, his eyes stare not shifting. I'm certain he's impressed with my poise, but doesn't want to appear overeager. Last name, Pereira. I'm gonna need you to step aside, Mr. Pereira. I'm afraid my employers have not given me word to allow you to passage, Detective. We have other locations that are, of course, open for investigation. I implore that you explore them. I'm going to require unprohibited access to the manor to complete my investigation. I say, a little more relaxed now that I know the act isn't going to work on him. It's almost a relief. That's going to be quite impossible, Detective. He spits the words at me like he's offended I'd ask, and then stands steadfast in front of the door. Damn. Till I can speak to the owner. What the butler says goes. Otherwise, owners find out I've been mistreating the staff and barging into restricted areas. Then I get fired and I'm just wasting my time here. And this case is actually kind of interesting. So you're taking a chance that the murder weapon's not behind you then? Not really worried about obstruction of justice, huh? You've already determined it's murder, have you, Detective? Should have known better than to use unqualified hypothetical in front of a payment. Getting old. I've determined that it's not. Really, it could be anything, Mr. Pereira. When you have made a determination, I assure you that I will be more than willing to assist you with your investigation. He gets on with this, I can tell. Giving you time to personally prepare to be cooperative with my criminal investigation sounds like something a professional would do, to be sure. I'll be back later then. He scoffs under his breath at this. His pissant reaction gave me a stronger sense of schadenfreude than my therapist would be happy with. I wonder if this guy ever gets a migraine pushing his brow down like that all day long. There's nothing over there. Let's hop over here. Oh look, we can float. Sweet. It's locked, like a lot of doors around here. Except, it smells like a graveyard. Like freshly mowed grass. Like asphalt and rubbing alcohol. Like death somehow. Like condensed anime conventions. This door doesn't go anywhere. Off the developer. Hey there, Mannheim. Mr. Spooky. I'm afraid that I cannot let you enter the Northwest Wing. Why am I gonna investigate? You guys haven't been laying under any wings. He interrupts me as I attempt to scoot past him. Mr. Abernathy has restricted access by anyone but immediate family and the police. You don't say. I'm afraid that I do. I think I catch him twitching his eyebrow as he says this, illustrating an uncharacteristic amount of expressiveness on his part. You did say something about restricted access. Fine. If this turns out to be too great an obstacle for my investigation, I'll need you to charge you for time spent. Understood, Detective. Can I slip past people like this then? Is that how this works? Let's roll around in here. I see now. I say here, young man. So he must be one of them, how you say, one of the proprietors of this fine establishment, I do say. Okay, look. I know how tough it is to hold a smile for a whole painting. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Do politicians ever try not to look like politicians? But you just start looking like that when you sign up. Hey, there's a ghost! Maybe I should put my outfit back on. I have like a ghostly punch combo. Ow! No, no you didn't. Yeah, that's right. Got some ghost juice. Go this way. Case note. Checkpoint. Hey there, buddy. You have color, unlike all of us. This is a very big ghostly mansion. Hey, look, a thing! Ow. Go this way. Hello, person? Yeah, this is a little awkward. I should have switched back before I came over here. Maybe we'll find one around here somewhere. Well, this place is big. Oh, crap. Not sure where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere. Okay, here we go. I can switch here. What does it matter? Mannheim? Oh, hey there, Mannheim. Can hardly see you in there. Detective. What the hell is this place? I grumble in no particular direction, trying to squint through the darkness. This room seems by all appearances to be the source of the trouble. You're kidding. There's nothing in here. No ghosts, no spectral matter, no auric residue, not even a common spiritual murmur, nothing. Allow me to get the lights. You gonna jump scare me? I hear Mannheim's footsteps approaching the back wall. The powers that be seek a vessel for the dark ambitions of mankind? The powers that be seek a vessel for the darkest ambitions of mankind. Mannheim, what the hell is this? Mannheim clears his throat like a woodchopper digesting a stone. We found it shortly after the police visited. It raised supernatural suspicions. I guess. I beg your pardon, sir. The one semitone raised in Mannheim's otherwise totally monotone voice tells me I caught him off guard. It's just that. Where do I even start? I guess I'm just gonna have to trust that he can handle me being a little frank. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Someone's playing a prank on you. Mannheim asked me to explain. Give him the common sense analysis. So this is some kind of demonic resonance, I'm assuming. Is that what you're thinking? Mannheim shrugged. Valerie looked at me and communicated a shrug through his silence. Ghosts don't require blood. Demons do. Demon is implication. So then why in God's name would demon not clean up after itself? Mannheim interrupts for a moment. I've never personally known a demon to be a thorough cleaner, Mr. Spooky. Was that a joke? Wasn't expecting that. Huh. What would a demon get out of scaring someone or anyone? It's a million miles away from a demon's best interest to be scary. Or at least scary in this extremely specific way. And why is that? So questions Mannheim, calking as if he's beginning to suspect I'm spewing nonsense. You know that the quickest way to get a person to start praying is, Mannheim? Doesn't respond. Put a gun to their head. He responds with a short, ah. Give him the inside knowledge. Well, Mannheim, there's no reason for this thing to, in your mind, why is this all here? I imagine you're the best person to go for that kind of information, Detective Spooky. Okay, be that way then. First instincts, Mannheim, or that this is a summoning, except there's no ritual here. It's just a bunch of stuff. A summon ritual is there to draw power of creatures toward a point in our dimension. But this is just like a star and a picture of a person. I mean, you summoned me, Mannheim. You know what you had to do? Draw a very weird symbol and put it at a really specific point above my summoning place, and then put a candle lit specifically with lithium chloride behind it. Mannheim drops his head to think for a moment. He then nods his head. Well, this is a star, and even a pentagram, with a silhouette above it. That would mean there's a small chance of summoning something every time someone drew a guy above a star. That would be a lot of bored kids accidentally summoning demons with their notebooks. Mannheim nodded his head, responding vocally. Am's gray. I'm gonna keep exploring. Thanks, Mannheim. Mannheim interrupts me a little more haste than usual. If you had to speculate as to... After seeing this, I can say with 100% certainty that it's not a ghost such a problem. It's either a demon or a prankster. Or both. Demonic pranksters. A ghost and demon's not the same thing, Detective Spooky. I was laboring under the assumption that they were. The big difference is that a demon wants something from you, Mannheim. Whether it's your blood, your word, or your soul. They're selfish creatures. I have to sigh. The look of this place would be funny if it weren't so stupid and senseless. I'm already tired about this criminal. I'm already sick of him or her. Thank you so much, Detective Spooky. Victor's fine. Just detective either way. Mannheim nods and allows me to leave. Alrighty then. Punch. Whoa, just gotta chill. There's something in the next room. Something dangerous. I'm gonna knock your beak out. Oof. Look ahead on that one. Cool. Oh, whoops. The first one that shines. That means it's a... I got hit by all the way down. Better like lay on the damage before I get killed by attrition. Get out of here, Peacock. I don't know why you're haunting this place or what you're doing, but whatever. Man, I hate hearing it scream. Poor thing. It'll be at peace soon. There's something to be said regarding the cajones of the bastard spraying this demonic crap. Doesn't make me like him any better. With the Peacock's death, I can feel some of its demonic energy pouring into me. It's not a totally unpleasant feeling. It doesn't make me feel completely wholesome either. Demons have this thing where they love to kill each other for power. So the way it works is that the power finds its way to whoever murdered its last inhabitant. This is some avian agility thing. I bet I can double jump now. That's definitely what this feels like. If I press the jump button while airborne, I should be able to jump once more. Interesting. Should keep looking around. This bird thing was a side effect. Not related to my case, probably. Locked door. Swear I didn't see that beyond the Peacock before. Damn, the door thing again. We have to find a way through that. Maybe the double jump will help. There was some areas I couldn't get to before. Because, well, I couldn't double jump. Hey, buddy. Punch. Wouldn't mind having a dash skill. I feel like a dash skill would be really helpful. Okay. Whoa! Guess I want to change my outfit. What's this? Oh? Something speaks. You startled me. There's a figure in front of me. It probably he, but who knows in this light, hasn't moved an inch. I don't get the idea I startled him. My apologies. The demon popped up. No, it's fine. It's totally fine. The man-creature scratches his chin with his left hand. I can't see his right hand. He seems to be an amputee of some kind. I knew. Continues after what might be mistaken for a breath. That eventually the proprietors of the house would send a problem solver. Maybe a policeman or a pest control guy. Would you happen to be that problem solver? Yep. You the problem? I am. Something red moves next to him. Something that didn't catch my eye before. He turns to face me. I don't think you should try to stop me. His face is a gaping void, somehow darker than the pitch-black walls around him. I'm given to suspicion as to what he might be exactly. I imagine you wouldn't want me to stop you. It's not about want, my friend. Have you considered what it would mean to stop me? Have you begun to think about what kind of precedent that would set? No. But you should know that I don't play morality games with demons. You and I both know it's a waste of time. And how do you know I'm a demon, mister? Detective Victor's spooky, and you made it clear enough downstairs. Too clear. Frankly, that whole song and dance was more confusing than anything. Okay, fine. The response of a huff in his voice, like I've offended him somehow. His tone shifts from moody to petty so quick it makes my neck ache. Since you're so smart, if you know I'm a demon, then you also know as well that you can't kill me. For I... A small inhaling exhale enters and exits a large swelling vortex in his skull. Am deathless. He's got a flair for dramatics. I don't want to kill you, just want to stop you and go home. Shockingly naive perspective from someone who gets paid to find murderers. I thought you'd know better. You only think you don't want to kill me. How would you know when you yourself haven't killed even one person for sport? I wonder if you're not worried that you might enjoy yourself. I have to roll my eyes. Well now, that just sounds like something a psychopath would say. Sure, Victor. You can go ahead and keep telling yourself that. I probably will. You know, if you want the last word so badly, you can just ask for it. Last word. God, I hate to be you. I tell him too, what is presumably his face. I've got to run, unfortunately, but we'll meet again soon, Victor. We'll meet again. He disappears into a black mist. What an asshole. It's only called me by my first name to piss me off. God damn it if it isn't working. As much as I feel like making that hole in his face a few inches deeper, I've got to find out more before I make a move against this guy. I better keep looking around. And look at that. A key. Not a literal key. A phasma conceptual key. The idea and permissions granted by a key. The physical becomes the spiritual and returns to physicality again. I should be able to unlock a door with this. Sweet. Well, I mean, it's obviously going to unlock the door behind the peacock. Alright, unlocked. Let's go. Shortcut back, or just a complete new area? Looks like it's like a garden or something. Greenhouse, you know what I mean. Slimes! Checkpoint. Okay, nothing there. Ouch! Hey, buddy, don't do that. I see. Wait, that's not good. Don't mess with the eyes. Holy cow, don't mess with those eyes. Oh, you... Why is there killer eyes? Got that for heals. You get behind something. Ouch, ouch. Huh. Oh, hey, Salazar. I say as I approach him, as if this is someone I should even be the least bit comfortable around. I can't help it. I dealt with this type so often, it feels like an old friend. Detective? What are you doing down here? I could ask the same question. Maybe a stupid question. I'm investigating. This is one of the few places I'm allowed to investigate if I recall our earlier conversation correctly. I suppose you've got your work cut out for you then. My ears perk up. Only at the implication that things up ahead may be more complicated than they currently appear. That it sounds like Salazar wants me to tell something. Wants to tell me something, rather. Easy, Spooky. Might be teasing you. Go on. We're missing a housemaid. Not teasing, that's a shocker. Usually someone who expresses much contempt for me would love to dangle information on my head like a cat toy. Hell, I was expecting it. When you say missing, the other maid, Friday, claims to have not seen her all day. After a thorough search, she's missing from every room except one. Then she's in that one, or taking a break outside. The room is locked, always has been. But it turns out that the maid, Constance, has been secreting it away all this time. Well, we the staff would all be very surprised. Perhaps if you're incorporeality detective, maybe you'll do investigate the room unhindered. Doesn't work that way. Ah, he says clearly no need of or desire for an explanation. What's the explanation? Issue that human constructs have an effect on the spiritual. Vampires of old cannot enter a home unless invited, and I cannot float through a wall that has been closed to me. If the door is open, or getting more complex here, if it was closed off to no one's desire, like a cave-in, then I can float through it. But if someone even from 1,000 years ago wants to keep me out, then they damn sure can. Regardless, Salazar, I'm a little surprised when we investigate something. It made it pretty clear upstairs how unwelcome I am. As a man who is hired and paid to do things precisely as his employers instruct, is it uncommon that I should hope to see the same out of you? He's called me a bad employee. I might be a little offended by that one. Not at all. If my employers instructed me to not enter an area, I'm certain they have the dignity to tell me themselves, or at least tell me what the chain of command is. But right now I'm going to assume you're on top of that chain, and we don't find out I'm wrong. You won't. I'm certain. If you don't mind. Of course, Detective. Hey there, buddy. Well, I can't go back. We're in. Sorry. It's staring at me, set on me on the edge. From my angry breathing to the tense posture atop his invalid legs. This one is priming himself to attack me, no doubt. Demon. It's clear enough. Face shaped like a crescent moon. Eyes, too. Broken, otherwise unusable legs. Labored breathing. Twitching fingers. Showing multiple signs of having become a slave of sloth. Or in layman's terms, an imbecilic demon. Not to be taken lightly, though. And maybe 10 seconds at best before he attacks. If there was some peaceful way out of this, I'm sure something would have hit me. No choice but to cowboy up. Let's have a row. That's all you do? Oh! He kind of bounces. So as long as I stay over here, I'm good. I can even just like tank out hits. You're almost done. Crack. I'm a little extra hard that last time. Did you lost him right in the brain matter? Actually, I was expecting more of a fight. So the only reason to crawl out of whatever pit it came from. I put money on it. Old Crescent Moonface is a minion. It's doing the violent bidding of someone or something else. That will-o-wisp, I bet. It wouldn't have found Earth otherwise. Can you talk? It replies with the same back-of-the-throat gurgling that's been coming from its gaping head since we started fighting. Then begins to leave. Which I'm more than okay with. I scared it off anyway. If I really wanted to completely subdue this thing, I have to will on a little more. If it comes back, though, then we've got a real problem. But for now, I'm clutching my pearls, praying that I can investigate for 5 minutes without some goddamn nightmare trying to catch me on my left foot. Just hoping. Yes, I just brute force that fight. It didn't look like it's too difficult. If I had a second phase, I was in trouble. But I was just making the call like this is not a second phase game? But I could be wrong. So health, I needed that. Alright, we're good. He like nicked me on the way out. Nothing. A rake stood up on its handle apparently has to avoid comical mishaps. Don't they have to worry about that really? Some wood. Nothing, like my soul. Nothing. Small spade, paint can, some wood. Huh. Pair of crutches. Not dusty enough to have not been used in the past couple of years. Who's using these? Perhaps it's the elusive Miss Abernathy, who Valerie claims is sick. But then why is she not using these right now? This is worth asking around about. Got a clue. No, 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 no. Oof. There's some kind of like item there. I feel like that gives me a major boost. Wow, you guys came out of nowhere. Okay, my outfit back. We get around that eye. I'm not sure what the item is, but we got it. Excuse me, everybody. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm just blitzing through. Take the high road. Need a key. Bats. Is that pit below me? Well, not bombless pit anyway. It's down here. Which area do I want to go in first? Demons over here too. I need to like find like a checkpoint or something if I die. Oh hey. Easy, Victor. Hello, it's Miss Bordeaux. I see in a slightly cheerier tone than my usual. With this level of anxiety, it's good to dispel as quickly as possible. The idea that an anxious person is all in trouble or some such. Detective, hello. Spooky's fine. Detective Spooky, how goes your investigation? Ups and downs. You don't mind that I keep poking around, do ya? She shuts up quickly. I just can't tell where the line is with these kind of people. Detective, I hope you understand that I'm not preventing you from seeing Miss Abernathy out of malice or ill will. Never even occurred to me. It's very important that you not bother her. We can discuss this later, Miss Bordeaux, if you prefer. I would. Great. What brings you down here? Down here? Right, she probably doesn't say how corrupted the house has become. No one ever does until you show them. I mean here, to the greenhouse. You know, like how your house has become a giant metroidvania maze? Just looking for a moment of peace and quiet. Detective, I hope that's not an issue. With that, Valerie's problem with me becomes clear. Miss Bordeaux, I'm not the police. I can't make you do anything that you don't want to do. If I ask you any questions, and I would like you to very much, for the sake of the house, you won't be legally obligated to answer any of them. Her face softened slightly. I didn't tell her that what she needed to hear. I put a fiver on having at least gotten close. I'm sorry, Detective Spooky. This nonsense regarding the disappearances that put me on edge. Who could blame you? She smiles a little at that. Her smile fades quickly. She hurriedly switches to a worried and introverted frown like it was a coat she had forgotten in the midst of a brutal winter. Detective, any questions you have that are not regarding the lady of the house, I would be willing to answer. Directions to the bathroom wouldn't go amiss. Or a quick, strange, genuine smile. And never even faster return to guarded hostility. She's silent, waiting on questions. Might as well. What is your occupation? What do you do for a living? I used to be a wedding planner, actually. She can't keep the pride out of her voice as she says this. It was a very successful one, too. I had she planned Mr. and Mrs. Abernathy's wedding. We held it right outside the manor. It was a pretty small get-together. Neither one of them has a lot of family to speak of, but Mr. Abernathy insisted on an extravagance wherever he deemed appropriate. Multi-tiered cake, both the Abernathys love carrot cake. She feels her a bit regarding the wedding. I don't mind at all. She's talking openly for the first time. Even tidbits like Miss Abernathy tried to talk Mr. Abernathy down from genuine silver utensils, but he insisted and have a hard time bothering me when it's so sincere. Whatever Valerie's guilty of, she's undeniably guilty of loving the art of wedding planning. More importantly, she's speaking genuinely and leaking important information. Small families on both sides. Not a lot of contact with the world outside this corner they've carved for themselves. Making Winterfield Manor remote. Not exactly a hub of activity. I only interrupt Valerie for a moment to ask about a pet that doesn't show up in the house before. They came to nothing. A stray cat that July was taking care of that doesn't show up anymore. Eventually, sooner than I expected actually, Valerie's anxiety reasserts itself and she shuts up like she's accidentally giving me nuclear launch codes. You notice anything strange about the house's geography? Let's go with Constance's appearance. What do you know about Constance, the maid? I don't know much. I don't really talk to maids here. Jude always tells me there's no harm in getting to know them, but, I mean, they're not my servants, and I hate being waited on. Are you aware that Constance has gone missing? I wasn't. For how long? Long enough to be strange. A few hours, maybe. Not long enough to get worried over. Should I be worried, Detective? I think you worry enough for 10 people, Miss Bordeaux. We'll find her. Don't stress yourself out about it. She didn't take the crack as well as I was hoping. An inwardly focused huff is all I get before she's done with the question. You noticed the house acting strangely, Miss Bordeaux. Miss Bordeaux, right, sorry. Like the house itself? No, not really. Why? Wait, is the house haunted? I am a ghost. She truly doesn't know it's a thing. I'm not gonna freak her out about too much then. Possibly, though I wouldn't bet on it. Everything here seems to have a perfectly logical explanation. Oh, I've never been good with ghost stories. I just mean, like, scary stories. No offense taken, Miss Bordeaux. I'm personally a fan of a good ghost story on occasion myself. I need to tell that when she goes back to her room, she'll probably enter 1 or 2 extra-dimensional portals, walk up several different upside-down staircases, not learn everything about it, suffer a worse headache. What good would that do? Do you live here? How long are you staying, Miss Bordeaux? I suppose indefinitely. Would a live-in house guest be an appropriate moniker for your relation to the Abernathys? It would, because Abernathy seems to like having me around. And how would you describe living with the Abernathys? Uneventful, at least until recently. You're referring to its disappearances, Detective. And would you describe it as good, bad? I'd say good. I don't feel it'd be right to complain about my circumstances. Miss Abernathy likes having me around, you said. How about Mr. Abernathy? Or July, rather. We don't talk a lot, actually. He always offers to have food or drink mixed for me. He seems kind. June and July, for what little time they spend together, seem to be as happy as a couple I've ever met. Notable. June and July being on good terms comes off strange to me. I can think of 3 reasons why. Either the immediate hostility of the house made the news of a happy, uncomplicated relationship seem odd in comparison. Valerie's lying to me and I caught her deception subconsciously. Or the confidence with which Valerie said this concentrated too harshly of her usual wilting self-consciousness. No, it's none of these. I'm overthinking again. Just note the irregularity and come back to it. Eyes on the prize, Spooky. Back to the conversation. Perfect, thank you. Better continue my investigation, Miss Bordeaux. Let me know if there's anything else you need, Detective. I will. She's more guarded than even the most naturally anxious people I've spoken to, but she's less guarded than she was before. I imagine will remain that way until I can no longer need anything from her. Like getting her to move out of the damn way so I can explore the southwest wing. Really need that save point. Oh! Ow, 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 ow. I'm fading fast. Here we go. Sweet. Oh, my health increased. Okay, so he's back. This is a genuine problem. And the most I probably did to him last time was waking him up a little. Better cowboy up. Beat you up. Ow. The tentacles actually make you more vulnerable in my opinion. Because this is never a chance for me to like beat you up. Now stop this. The nauseating gurgle comes from somewhere inside its skull. It has a skull. I wasn't sure last time. I felt it this time. There's a route something in there too. Because he's taking his time getting up. But it does eventually get up. Looks like it's going to be a little more cooperative now. Never make a demon sigil in a hurry. Unless you want to summon something you didn't mean to. Or you want your arm locked off by a closing portal. My personal apprentice is a wall-bending troublemakers enough to make them sit still long enough to let me do my work. Unless I miss my guess. That dazed look in his eyes tells me he could use a break. Who could blame him? No, damn it all, no. Well, suppose I missed my guess then. Not the end of the world. Could have gone far. This isn't anything special. That soft head of his is just taking a bigger beating than I expected it to. But yes, I'd really better track him down now. I don't think he intends to leave without a fight. Yeah, you're taking over this area. Okay, Spooky. I know his weird squishy skull is no fun to punch. This time you really need to... Hey! He's leaving! Well, this is bad. Now I've really got to corner this goddamn thing. Oh, he left the key. That's convenient. Cross my fingers that crescent moon face is behind the door this unlocks. Okay, that was a little farther back. So we'll have to go a little ways away. But I remember that locked door. Detective! Valerie Bordeaux calls out to me as I enter the room. Yes, Miss Bordeaux. Well, how was your investigation in the wing of this house? That's not what you meant to ask me. Fine, I think I've almost got everything that I need. Will you be needing to search the recreational wing of the house? Of course. Would you be so kind as to return tomorrow? That'd give me some time to speak to the lady of the house and confirm that she's feeling well enough to have, well, company I'm a ghost. I can't come tomorrow. I'm afraid I can't do that. Mannheim impressed on me. That was more than they probably meant to. The urgency of this investigation. I'll be needing everyone's cooperation in order to get to the bottom of these disappearances. Detective Spooky. Her voice takes on a new pleading tone. Her guard nature quickly gives way to what could be uncharitably referred to as begging. Please, understand you're professional. You've got everyone's best interests at heart. I understand and appreciate that. But as a personal favor, could you please come back tomorrow? Odd. Odd enough to not get my goat to be asked for a personal favor in the middle of a matter of life or death. Regretfully, I'll have to refuse. My sincerest apologies, Miss Bordeaux. Why? What? Why? Why can't you come back tomorrow? You're right. I should come back tomorrow. Another body might be speaking the evidence I need to wrap this case up for good. Well, there's no need to be rude. Yes, I have to be rude. I am a ghost summoned to this place, although you don't know that. There's no reason for you to play stupid. I've had a hell of a welcome since I got here to do my job, Miss Bordeaux. And it's not my idea of a pleasant summer's day to investigate a house that doesn't want me here. You'll have to forgive me if being summoned to a house for the sole reason of investigating a potential murder spree, only be told to not be too thorough about and offends my professional sensibilities. Detective, I merely asked for a day's absence. And something tells me you're not the one fronting the bill for me to be here, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that with a grain of salt. I've had too many easy cases lately. I'm going soft. I don't think this nut's gonna be cracked unless I start applying a little force. She's staring, shaking a little. Fine, if that's, She shuts up again. She's not overly practiced at sudden confrontation. She doesn't say a word. She turns away from me to leave, walking straight into the wall. This house is so deeply corrupted. I wouldn't be surprised if she was already far gone enough to start scaling walls. Yep, there it is, walking casually upwards, probably still believing that she's walking down the greenhouse she's used to. And she's gone. Okay, we unlock that door. Oh, would you look at that? An actual demon summoning. An Abyssinian summoning sigil. 4 candles, 1 unlit. Extremely specific locations. A blood letter, presuming the maid hung up in the ceiling corner. She's probably still having blood siphoned out of her, which explains how this little fella keeps growing more powerful. Thankfully, he's staying on top of his recall point. There's no teleporting away from me this time. Duke's up, Crescent Moon Face. Last call for blood. Time for you to go home. Whoa, okay. Calm down now. Calm down now. Just keep wallowing on it. Like I said, every time it adds more attacks to its phases, it's just more chances to wail on it. Plus the final hit of the punch goes upward. So it just takes out those missiles. I think he's gonna stay still this time. No, never mind, Siebel. I don't get it. It's a teleportation. There shouldn't be anything painful about it. And yet, every time I send a demon home, they writhe and scream if they're capable. And act like they're in great pain. The only explanation I can think of is that they're faking it. And that's it. I sometimes get a little numb teleporting somewhere. It never hurts. The Crescent Moon Face is doing it like all the others. Whatever kind of pain he's in, he sure is in a lot of it. The day is saved. How are you hanging in there, Constance? Fine, now that I've had a moment to catch my breath. You're still out of blood. I'd give up on getting any work done today. Perhaps I shall. Normally I would put up a fight, I'm just sure of it. For whatever reason, though, I'm finding myself ill-equipped to disagree. For whatever reason, she says. Thank you ever so much for saving me, Detective. Again. You can stop thanking me, Constance. I'm just glad you're okay. I find myself overcome with gratitude, though. You asked that I should simply ignore these intense feelings and pray they leave on their own. I'm asking you to understand that I'm only doing my job, Constance. And at the end of the day, I'm getting paid for this. Regardless, you saved my life. Thank you. This woman is being exceedingly kind. Regardless, she's a handful. Clearly has a lot to say. I'm sure she's a different lady when you haven't just saved her life. A grateful voice is nice to hear, though. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to repay you. There is. Will you let me know the moment you're feeling up to answering some questions? I'm ready right now. Constance, Don't argue, Detective. I prefer to start immediately. You know what? I'll take it. What do you remember about the attack? Constance, I understand you must be feeling. None of that, Detective, none of that. You saved my life. The least I can do is answer your questions. You're too kind. Would you recall the past couple of hours? What do you recall, rather? I've been trying to answer that same question since I came to. I'm afraid that the answer won't be very gratifying or helpful. Regardless. I was cleaning, here in the greenhouse. This room? A different room. I believe I was wiping down the orchid planters if it's all relevant. It isn't, but the last thing I want Constance to do right now is skimp on the details. My mind was serenely blank canvas. I was as focused on my job as I am on my best days. Just my luck that something would go so dreadfully wrong. I remember that I was frozen with terror before I understood what was happening to me. A pair of hands gripped me by my shoulders, from behind. The two hands were so different, though, as if belonging to two separate but equally terrifying men. Go on. My right shoulder, a firm, unfeeling, cold grip that locks around my bones the same way a manacle might. On my left shoulder, a human grip, but cold and clammy, thin, the faintest heartbeat, sickly but strong. They moved with synchronicity, I suppose you would call it, and I then felt as though I were dragged into slumber. I had horrid dreams, none that I can remember too well. The dreams are never ever helpful. If you could attempt to forget whatever dreams you had during that time, you'd probably be better off. I concur. And after that... well, you were there for the rest of it, Detective Spooky. Got it, thanks. Notice anything else strange? Have you noticed anything different about the house at any point recently? Other than the changes to this room? Yeah, besides don't name it. Yeah, besides that. I suppose not. If I notice anything, Detective, I'll be sure to contact you as soon as possible. Would you? Of course. Perfect. You won't notice, unless I point it out. Constance, to me it seems as though you've got a decent bird's eye view of the manor as a maid. And a hard-working one at that, Detective. Agreed. With ghosts come filth. If she were able to clean up the filth around here faster than the ghosts can reduce it, she would be the first. What are your impressions on Winterfield Manor, its inhabitants, its general dynamic? Disagreeable. Disagreeable? You're the first to tell me that. Of course I am, Detective. I'm the only one who's seeing things as they are. Does this pertain to the residents or to the staff? Both. Both. The staff sorely lacks a sense of unity. I've tried my best to rally troops, as one might say. But my other maid, Miss Foster, on whom I must depend until I convince Miss Abernathy to hire additional help, sees herself above strict regiment and hard discipline. It's a disgrace. Salazaar is a hard worker, yes, but he has the bedside manner adequate of a fishmonger with a cold. Edward, he would be a great butler if he went so solitary. He tends to July with openness and hospitality, for the rest of us residents and staff alike have trouble finding him most of the time. Tell me about the residents. Well, simply put, it's time to get down to brass tacks regarding Miss Valerie Bordeaux. Wait. What brass tacks? Well, I shouldn't gossip, but Mr. Abernathy believes Valerie Bordeaux to be a bad influence of Miss Abernathy. However, the lady of the house prefers having her around. I find that the two may be avoiding an argument about it, but an argument may be the best thing to have, instead of this terrible sense of unfinished business that seems to be surrounding the young Miss Bordeaux. Do you have anything particular against Miss Bordeaux? She's no social butterfly, but I've not the slightest reason to dislike her. I only wish the best for the house. It's Miss Abernathy that seems to have negative impressions of Miss Bordeaux. Fascinating. Vamoose. Constance, thank you. Think nothing of it, Detective, and come find me if there's anything else I can answer for you. I will. Well, now what? Demon's gone. Quick weapon, do you happen to know whose crutches those are in the other room? I'm sorry, no. No idea. None. That suspicion that they might have been Miss Abernathy's. Valerie implied that she may be sick. I'm not sure why Miss Bordeaux would say such a thing, Detective. Miss Abernathy is in perfect health. No kidding. Valerie won't allow me to pass her to the southwest wing to speak to her. Perhaps the lady of the house simply doesn't want to speak to the help at the moment. Detective, Miss Bordeaux is making excuses for her. Could hardly imagine why not without what they're paying for my time. As with me, Detective, if you don't mind, don't let me stop you. Haven't talked to you yet. Hello there. A maid greets me in the darkness. Hey there, can we hit the lights in here? Suppose price gets in here. I'm blasting their heat lamps. The old wiring here, turn on one light and it never goes off. Gotcha. I'm Detective Victor Spooky. I'm asking a few questions, miss? Friday Foster, pleasure. What can I help you with? Her voice is sweet and energetic. She's a little more open to forward than most maids. Her helpful and well-practiced tone reminds me of Susie's back home. Nice to meet you, Friday. Is your maid here? I ask her, not merely noticing my redundancy. She responds. No, I just wear the outfit for fun while I clean. Thankfully, the owners paid me for it. How long have you been a maid here, Miss Foster? Her eyes drift sideways for a moment and come back recalling time that she forgot the mark. It must be about 2 or 3 years now, and Friday is fine. You must be at least mildly familiar with the house's residents by now, right? Her eyes drift sideways for another moment, she then nods. Great. I just have a few more questions for you. You might tell me about Valerie Bordeaux, I believe it was. Her brow drops a little bit, not enough to imply disagreeableness toward Valerie, but enough to imply a shaky situation. Oh, yeah, sure. I'll tell you whatever I can. Any person, she's a little jumpy, huh? Valerie, she seems maybe a little. Friday's eyes perk up a little bit to catch the falling into my sentence. Yeah, I guess she's kind of on edge, neurotic, I guess. So this is, I say the word, normal for her then. She's jumpier than normal, I've noticed it too. So has everyone else, including June, I think. Great, good to know, thank you. What's the relationship between Valerie and the owners? So Valerie, is she a relative or... Friday averts a gaze for a moment. No, she's not a relative. I don't think. I think she might just be a friend of June's. What's her relationship to July Abernathy? I've never seen them in the same room together. I don't think. I'm not positive they have a relationship. In fact, I don't know for certain if he's aware she lives here. I mean, they try to have breakfast and dinner together, June and July. But July's a really busy guy. I'm not sure he would have noticed. This catches my attention. So she does live here then. Oh yeah, definitely. She's always in the house. Often she's with June. Sometimes she's not. She sleeps in one of the guest rooms. Confirmation. This makes things interesting. Valerie's easily here enough to be just as much a suspect as anyone else. Ghosts included. Perfect. Thanks for the info, Friday. Any personal opinions? Oh, I don't have any. I wish she would act like she lives here more and ask for stuff directly. She has June tell me stuff on her behalf a lot. This gives me pause for thought. I wonder if she's a living guest. Why Valerie wouldn't step up to the plate and act like a resident here. Well, she doesn't like to talk about her living situation. To me or anyone, I don't think. Maybe she came from somewhere bad before. Maybe she's afraid of overstaying her welcome. Who knows? What if it's like one of those silly things where it's just they're the same person? And she's just like switching outfits, like, I'm a different person, I'm Valerie, not the head of the household. Owners. Would you mind telling me more about the owners? June, July? Certainly, what do you need to know? What they like generally. As far as you're aware, at least. It's a telling gesture that she makes, looking upward and reaching for a thought. I can only imagine the owners don't cross her mind very often. At least not as individuals she knows, but rather as simply her absentee employers. I don't know. They're nice, I guess. Nothing wrong with them. They pay me on time. Unobtrusiveness, perhaps the most suspect behavior of them all. The calm status quo in this house that everyone's fine with is the same status quo that's resulted in the disappearance of 2 people. Maybe more. Tell me about their health. I spoke to what's-her-name, Valerie Bordeaux, earlier. She offhandedly mentioned something about June Abernathy's health. Are you aware of any illness she may have contracted? She's careful about her words. She seems to rely on vocal affirmation before saying anything concrete. No, I've not heard anything, Detective. Sorry. I wouldn't know if June's sick at all, though I hope she's not. I nod slowly. I suddenly mull over the idea that perhaps June is sick but secretive about it. Alright, good to know. Any personal opinions? Do you have any strong opinions regarding the Abernathys? Just, personal thoughts. Not really. I don't see them all that much. Also, don't do much work in the areas where July is. I know Junebear, though. What's your opinion on June, then? She's fine. I always get the feeling that she's ruder to the other people than she is to me. Great. Rest of the staff. There's myself, Mannheim, Salazar, and Constance. You're asking about specifically. I've spoken to Mannheim. He's an interesting guy. Do you know him? Oh yeah, I get about Mannheim. What do you want to know? Wow. Well, it seems like he's hiding something. We describe Mannheim as a secretive kind of guy? Do you think he's up to something? This one takes her a second. She's really mulling it over. Not that I know of. I can kind of see why you would think so, but I couldn't imagine he's hiding anything. Good, thanks for your input. Mannheim, like generally, pretty bog standard butler of all things considered, right? I asked, expecting she will confirm and correct me. I suppose. He's always been really kind to me. He probably comes off as cold to a lot of people, though, but I mean, that's his job. I don't blame him. Cold is actually the last word I used to describe my experience at Mannheim so far. He's rigid, but I can't help but feel as though he's far too close to the problem on our hands. It's worth noting how highly Friday thinks of him. Great, thanks. Personal opinions? Well, I guess he'd really sad if he were left. But I mean, everyone seems to like him, so that's nothing surprising. That's so, Okay, thanks. Salazar. The Salazar guy. I've not spoken to him yet. Will you tell me about him? Her expression darkens notably. Can we? Everything okay, Friday? She speaks up after a pronounced moment of silence. Can we not talk about Salazar? We've never really gotten along, but I have a thing about talking bad behind people's backs. It always returns in a bad way. If you're sure. Yeah, I don't think that he likes me much if it means anything. That's helpful, thank you. It is helpful. I'm not screwing with her. She may have said something useful now talking about their experiences, but it's a good thing I'm not the only fellow that she treats that way. Constance. Haven't met Constance yet, another housekeeper. Her eyebrows raised, but her expression doesn't seem to brighten at all. She's either been winning for or dreading talking about whatever she's about to talk about. Yes. Let's talk about her briefly. I'm correct in assuming she's another housekeeper. Friday excels with a slight tinge of frustration. This Constance lady's already speak up to be some kind of character. Yeah, she's another maid. We have rotating duties. I don't respond to that verbally. It's unhelpful. I'd like to move on to the next question. Don't seem thrilled to talk about her. You don't sound like you're excited to talk about her, Friday. Should I be worried? Well, she's choosing her words especially carefully now. Constance is a little hard to work with sometimes. I would not be surprised to learn that she doesn't end up cooperating with you. Friday says as much quieter than she was before, as if she were speaking some grave insult that this Constance lady would be shocked to hear. If Friday's right, then Friday wouldn't be the first person Constance would hear criticism from. I'll keep that in mind then, thanks. Opinions on Constance? What do you think of Constance personally? She starts and stops like an old motor. Tough question. I don't think she would be surprised if she heard me say I am not overly fond of her. I hate to talk behind people's backs, but this isn't exactly a secret. Understood. I appreciate your candor. I'll be all for now, Friday. Thanks you so much. She perks up and gives me a wink before suddenly returning to her cleaning. Okay, we got some more clues there. I don't know what the clues are for. If they come up later or not, we'll see. Detective. Bitterness lines her voice like she's had time to rehearse her lines and remind herself she has right to be pissed off. Need to get her out of the way. I don't think I've got a good enough handle on things to make her bunch. This can require a long talking to. So give it a try anyway. Yes. Let's have it out then. I see what all the stuff we got is for. You seem on edge. My friend is terribly ill, Detective. I'm sure you can understand my discomfort. Undoubtedly. Would you mind if I were to swing a few questions your way? You know, since I've got you here. Ask away, Detective. I'll answer whatever I'm at liberty to discuss. I know we've both got nothing but time. Dandy. So one more time for the record. June Abernathy's under the weather. Without question. What's the doctor's diagnosis? None yet. We live in a pretty remote area, Mr. Spooky. It's going to take some time for a doctor to fit us all in for a house call. That, and it hasn't been that much time since she's come down with her sickness. A little extra time to rest and receive a diagnosis would be... just what the doctor ordered, yeah, thanks. You know a power play when you see one, Victor. Don't engage her on this point, no matter how infuriating it is. Miss Bordeaux, let's discuss her sickness. What are her symptoms? I'm not at liberty to discuss them. Dry throat, runny nose, fever, headache, cough. I'm not at liberty to discuss her symptoms, Detective. Damn, she knows what a trap looks like. The less she says, the better for her. I don't love that she recognizes that. She's being evasive. Let's get to the point. Let's pin her on something she can't wriggle her way out of. Yes, okay. It makes sense now why you've been collecting notes. Here, June's not sick and Salazaar says... That's it! Valerie, let's talk. I've been hearing rumors from the staff. Do you hold frivolous rumors from the cleaning crew as a high priority, Detective? Oh, she should have not said that. That was a slip-up I can use. I do, in fact, Miss Bordeaux. Information is my business, and the staff here are just as much people as you or I. Or do you disagree? No, I agree, of course. I was only saying that in close of June. I would hope that you take me at my word when I... Regardless of your opinion of the working class, Miss Bordeaux, it has come to my attention that there are some who believe June Abernathy to be in perfect health. Mr. Spooky, I was only implying that direct reports in both one Friday Foster and one Salazar Pereira about June seemingly fit as a fiddle. Or should I disregard what they have to say? Yes, you should. I mean, no. Not because you're their staff, but that's not what I mean. I keep my trap shut. Never interrupt your opponent when he or she is making a mistake. No, Detective Spooky, listen to me. I continue to catch her gaze. I have nothing against the staff. Is that what you believe I was implying, Miss Bordeaux? June and I are close friends, and she's the only reason I'm not on the street. I sympathize with the staff greatly, I do. Sympathy, Miss Bordeaux. We're working pretty normal jobs. We're just people. I don't know why you have so much trouble getting that. Easy, Spooky. You were playing your hand because you got your goat. Eyes on the prize, stupid. Detective, you're being unremarkably unkind. I think it's pretty unfair that you let rumors spread by our busy employees outweigh the word of her friend. I went 2 to 1 that says she's a picture of Elf. I understand that, Detective, but while the staff was busy doing their jobs, I was tending to her. It's absurd that I should even be feeling these obvious falsehoods. Let me through so I can see her. Or at least let me through so I can keep investigating it. I will not, Detective. So, there. I understand. Alright, Miss Bordeaux. My sincerest apologies for being so rude. As you may understand, this is a matter of life and death. But understand, when you've got stand up to a friend, especially when they're as sick as June Abernathy must be, and I know a good friend when I see one. Wait, what? I'm sorry to have upset you, Miss Bordeaux. Truly. Oh, it's quite alright, Detective Spooky. I understand you're only doing your job. Thank you, Miss Bordeaux. I'm very grateful you continue to be cooperative despite my manners. It's no problem, Detective. And Valerie's fine. Okay, fine. She wants to corner herself in a hole and insist upon a lie. Far be it from me to stop her. June is probably totally fine. But if assuming she's sick is how we're gonna play this, I can use it. If I play my cards right, and Valerie just handed me the rose I'm gonna hang her from. Figuratively speaking, of course. On to my next question, Miss Valerie. June 6, summoning. Valerie, you understand there have been strange happenings in Winterfield as of late. I do? Are you aware of an attempted summoning in the basement? No, I wasn't. That's not pretty. There appears to be bloodstains and extremely cryptic, dangerous messaging. I know damn well that's butt-kiss summoning. The question is, do I tell her that? Or do I play off the fact that it was clearly a spoof by an unwelcome guest? Or do I use your demonic implications to set her off her guard? Valerie's someone very stupid has tended to scare the house guests. But you argue like spooked easily? Including resisting a demon summoning. Valerie, someone's trying to summon a demon at this location. You're kidding, right? I'm not. This is definitely serious. I was successfully summoned here. It'd be just as easy, if not easier, to summon something very dangerous. Oh no, that is bad. Yes. How can I help? Or is there any question I can answer regarding the summoning? The uptight and anxious don't usually like to ask, what does it have to do with me? That's definitely the idea. Well, Valerie, there are a number of strange things going on here. If someone is attempting to, let's say, change the ecosystem of the house, something or otherwise, I would naturally question everyone's motives. And I'm having a hard time believing that June Abernathy's recent illness isn't somehow connected. Wait, connected to the summoning? Yes. Remember what the story is downstairs. Someone's not acting in good faith. If June's sick, it's very, very likely that it's someone's fault. Didn't like that at all. Do you have any evidence that it could point us to a possible perpetrator? The question was distinctly not, do you have any suspects? She knows I suspect her within the framework of June's sickness, though I really suspect her right now as lying. I do. A scrap of evidence, anything, even a character witness that points in Valerie's direction might be enough to give her a damn heart attack right about now. And I think I know exactly what to use. I'll play bad influence. That's it! Speaking of demon summonings, Valerie, Constance told me there's been a friction between you and July Abernathy, the man of the house. Then one day someone summons a demon downstairs and June is deathly ill. Valerie Bordeaux. What are you doing with June Abernathy? Me? No, never. It's not like that. You left me no choice but to assume the worst, Valerie. Because now, at best, you're at least responsible for trying to summon a demon within Winterfield. Or at worst, actually at best, most likely, she's just lying to me. This is what happens when you labor under a lie, Val. No, I'm not poisoning June. I'm not summoning a demon. I'm not... Say it. Who mentioned poisoning? Things are piling up, Val. I've been hired to clean up your mess. Say it. No, Detective, you've got... It's not... Say it. It's not what it looks like, I swear. Bingo. I think it's exactly what it looks like, Valerie. Especially after hearing that you're only welcomed by one half of the household. It's not... July's not... He and I are fine. Not you... No, not perfect, but I... Okay, I'm sorry. I lied to you about June. She didn't want to be bothered, and she was depending on me to keep her away. Been a pretty long lengths to give your buddy some peace and quiet. She's sick, Detective. It's just not... It's not what you think it is. It's important she not be bothered. Not as important as my making sure you're not hiding a body behind you, Valerie. Step aside. Fine, I'll move. She steps aside with infuriating slowness, and I am finally given access to the southwestern wing of Winterfield Manor. Her heavy, potent, and heavy sigh reeks of annoyance and defeat. I almost feel bad for her. That's over with. Thank you so much for playing Deep Night Detective Chapter 1. If you'd like to support the game further, be sure to leave a review of your honest thoughts. I guess that's it. So that's it for Deep Night Detective Episode 1. I think it's also maybe it's like a kind of a demo. It's not like a literal first episode. I would say the game is pretty good. It has some like, I would almost say like polishing flaws. I'm not sure if it's just me. Maybe it's a bug. Okay. But I did notice there was a little bit of lacking on the, say, like feedback of sounds. So like the hits on enemies aren't too satisfying. Same thing with like the bosses. Like there's not enough like sound effects in this game so far, I think. So that's like more of a polishing thing. Mechanically, it's fine. I'm curious if we'll get more attacks other than just punching. If we'll get like spells or tools or little weapons, so we're not just hopping and floating and just punching something to death. Boss design-wise, it's fine. It's early in the game, so they're relatively easy. I'm not too surprised by that. And I do somewhat question the Metroidvania part. I see the skeleton of a Metroidvania there, but it's going to be episodic for one. So I'm not sure, like, do saves carry over? Do we revisit areas? Because as it is, we don't necessarily revisit areas, it looks like. Looks like we'll be done with the new area. So right now, I think it's more of a platformer, like a little platforming action game with a detective visual novel aspect on the side. So that's why I kind of mean, like, it seems like it's going to be a pretty good game. It's got the skeleton of it anyway. It just needs, like, refinement, polish, and spots to kind of bring out the potential that's there. Because it doesn't matter if you have, like, a nice stone. If you don't polish it, it's not going to shine, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's an interesting mix of genres that kind of works. And when the difficulty and the depth has been increased, I feel like it'll kind of bring the synergy out better. Anyway, so thank you all for watching me play Deep Night Detective Episode 1. I'll see you guys later, and take it easy.